men, and I use the term loosely. This is just a follow-up to the audience participation video, and I want to kind of let you know what's been going on and where we're at. First of all, I want to thank all you guys for your comments. There were some good ideas in there. Hopefully they will help Ozzy. The owner has been responding with the YouTube name of Ozzy Osborne. He isn't really Ozzy Osborne. He's somebody who just uses the name. But anyway, a lot of good comments in there, a lot of good ideas, and I just want to thank y'all for doing that, because you know, something in there may be the spark that triggers the solution. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what time will bring us. The purpose of that preceding demonstration on the kicking was this. When trying to diagnose the problem of no compression, the question gets to be this: is the engine rotating or not, or is the motion being lost between the kickstart lever and the engine? And I was trying to correlate the sound, the effort, the mannerism on this bike. And the way I simulated no compression on this bike was I took the spark plugs out, okay? And what I was really interested in was the part where Ozzy was stroking it through with his hand. And you know, the engines have a fair amount of internal resistance in it, and I was just trying to see if, you know, the amount of effort he was exerting with his arm corresponded to, you know, just by look and sound, to the effort I had to exert to turn this motor over. And the thinking was this: is if the Kickstarter was disconnected from the engine, it would have been, you know, like kicking through nothing. There would have been nothing there whatsoever. But in fact, you could feel it. I mean, when you're down 6 inches from the motor, stroking it with your hand, you could hear the pistons going up and down. And Ozzy's been riding motorcycles for 30 plus years. He knows what the engine sounds like. So I tend to agree with him. There's no doubt that the engine is rotating when the problem occurs. You know, a lot of you guys suggested that perhaps it was the, well, not the brake, but the clutch was slipping or something. Sportsters are perhaps unique in the motorcycle world because it's the only engine I'm aware of, and this goes back to, you know, Triumphs, BSAs, Nortons, that does not drive through the transmission or the clutch. The kickstart arm, the kickstart shaft, and the gear and the mechanism is all external to the transmission and engages to the back of the clutch hub. You don't even need plates in one of these clutches, and the engine will turn over when you kick it. Every other motorcycle that I'm aware of or have ever worked on, the kicker does drive through the transmission. Big Twins, it drives through the transmissions. Hondas, it drives through the transmissions. You know, Nortons, BSA, Triumphs, they all drive through the transmission. Sportster's unique in that the kickstart mechanism is external to the transmission and connects directly to the primary drive chain. So you could roll the clutch out. The only way the clutch might be involved is if your hub was so jacked up that the ratchet gear wasn't engaging with the ratchet plate on the back of the clutch. And you usually know that because before it goes completely out, it'll slip on you and you will hyperextend your right leg. It's just incredible pain. For you guys who kick these things, you know. But anyway, a lot of comments. I do believe that his engine is rotating. Let me grab my phone. He had a couple of texts we've exchanged. I'll be right back. Okay, this was a couple of days ago. He said, I had a compression loss kicking at it the other day. I quickly got my spark plug wrench and pulled the spark plugs out and dropped the zip tie in the hole and kicked it again, and my pistons are definitely moving. I always knew they were, but I figured I might as well confirm. So the engine is in fact rotating, the pistons are in fact going down, so the compression going away has got to be something to do with the motor side of it, not the drive side of it. And a couple of days ago, I finished boring a set of jugs with a set of, I think they were 40 over TRW forged pistons for Ozzy. I shipped them up there, and they arrived, well, he sent me this text today, but the pistons arrived yesterday, pistons and cylinders safe and sound. Not sure when I will put the new cylinders on. Other than the phantom compression loss, the bike is running great, so I might wait until winter. I'll be sure to keep you posted if I find anything out. So, you know, the bike has got a problem, but apparently it's not bad enough to keep him from driving it. And I know, well, he and I have been exchanging texts and telephone calls, you know, for the last 3 or 4 weeks has been going on. And I know he's been putting miles on this thing. He'll go out and put a couple 100 miles on it on a weekend. So as irritating as the problem is, apparently it isn't serious enough to keep him from riding it. So we'll just have to wait and hear. Hopefully your suggestions will give him something to think about, directions to go in. Personally, I'm kind of leaning to, you know, worn out piston ring lands or something like that, where, you know, the rings are just not being forced out against the cylinder enough to create compression, and that everything is worn in there just enough that, you know, every so often it'll come into alignment where there won't be any compression, but conversely, every so often it'll pop back in or whatever, and there will be compression. I'd really like to know the answer to this. When I'm trying to help a guy over the phone and text and emails like has been going on here, it's a considerably different process than I probably would use if the bike was here in the shop. And frankly, I'm glad it's not here, because if a guy dropped it off and said, hey, every once in a while I kick the compression goes away, can't get it going, and all of a sudden everything is okay. You know, those are the hardest problems to fix. I don't know what I would do exactly if it was here. Well, I think the first couple of steps, I know what I would do, and one would be to verify the engine is rotating, which it is, and the other thing would be to somehow catch it while it was screwing up, and, you know, look at the valve train, or, you know, I probably would just pull the heads and the cylinders off and see what everything looks like in there. Well, and of course it has rebuilt heads on it, and if I do say so myself, I did a very good job on those heads, and you know, it ain't valve sticking. We don't think it's lifter sticking. He's had at least 2, maybe 3 sets of lifters in it. Now, he says he hasn't been below the head in many, many years, so it could be something down in the jugs. We'll just have to wait and see when he gets around to it. So, you know, the evil part of me says, well, I hope it fucks up on him tomorrow so that he's got to fix it. On the other hand, I hope it keeps running for him and doesn't present a problem, and he never needs to use those pistons and cylinders, but he's got them in case he needs them. So we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, hey, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for your comments. I'm sure Ozzy really appreciates it. So do I. And wait 1 minute. Get yourself a coffee cup. Get yourself a sticker. These are the new ones. I got very few of these left. If you order a sticker, just put on the eBay comments there for when you buy something which one you want. I'm sure Pegatha will accommodate you as need be. When these are all gone, we'll take them off eBay and just have these listed on there. And there's maybe only 5 or 6 of these guys left. But anyway, hey, thank you all. I appreciate it greatly. Have a good day, man. Bye.